My guest today on Culture is an internationally known photojournalist whose pictures have graced the pages of the world's best news magazines, from Time and Newsweek to National Geographic. His name is Reza, and he's devoted his life to documenting the impact of war and poverty. Reza, hello and welcome to Culture.
Thank you very much.
Now, you are originally from Iran. You started off studying architecture, but I know there was a very key moment when you decided to become a photographer. Tell us about that.
Well, the key moment actually is happened when I was witnessing one of the acts of the Iranian army when they came and they started shooting the students. And one of the students have a camera and he was running, but he was taking pictures. And this really brought me to thinking that something going to happen. This was 1979, actually, we should say that, during the Shah regime, and it was just beginning of the revolution. So this was the day that I said, I may take 3 days go for take pictures, and this is now 30 years.
A long vacation. So during that time...
Well, it wasn't vacation.
Well, work, that's true. Working holiday, we'll call it. During that time, you took a picture that I find so provocative. We should be discovering it now here. These are students, right, who are rallying, telling us about this image of the marionette, the hands of God, history.
Well, I was the only photographer at the time of the hostage crisis in Iran, in embassy, the first one to take all the pictures. Then one day I saw these students that have taken the hostage themselves standing inside the embassy and chanting and chantings and doing demonstration. And in the background you had these hands over there. And suddenly it came up to my idea that, well, those students themselves, they are puppets. They are marionettes of someone else, some ayatollahs or some political parties. So this was the best way to show them in the pictures, that these pictures come up at this time.
And I'd like to talk about how you go about preparing your stories when you go out to shoot them. We're going to take a look at a picture in Sarajevo that I find incredibly moving of a little girl who is selling her toys. Do you prepare before you go at all, or do you just right place, right time, take a shot and hope for the best?
Well, the only preparation is your heart and your mind should be ready. And you should be 100% giving yourself to the people you are going to photograph or to the subjects. You forgot yourself. You are not there anymore. Someone else is going on. So, but never stage. I never stage my photograph. I never ask people to sit down or stay over there or for whatever doing it, unless it's a portrait. This special case of this little girl is actually it's a fantastic choice, because when people ask me what is the most horrible moment in the wars that you have, and God knows that I have been in 20 years in all the war zones in the world, this is one of the most incredible moment for me, because this shows what the war is. It is not only dead bodies and wounded people or destroyed houses. It's also a war that brings a little 9-year-old girl at the eve of the Christmas to sell the dolls that she had for all her life, that she praised them, she loved them, she lived with them. And then we brought this little girl to sell this, to buy bread for the grandma, because she haven't eat for 4 days. That's what she told me, This is the whole story about this picture.
Well, there's also a lot of joy in your photos as well. There's one from your book, Insouciance, of little boys in Afghanistan. We're going to discover them making funny faces with their eyes. Tell us about this picture that should be coming.
The one with the children.
Yes,
they have
exactly.
Yeah, well, this one actually. The kids, they loves running to the foreigners, especially in those places, and this was during the Russian time, when the Russian has invaded Afghanistan. It was impossible to go as a photographer, officially. So we had to go on the mountains and walk the miles and miles, hundreds of miles, days and days to there. And in the villages that we were crossing, there was no foreigners. So the kids were, when seeing a photographer like me, and just running and asking me, take my picture, take my pictures, or imitating. And this is the one shot I got at this moment, actually.
And speaking of Afghanistan, in 2001 you created your own humanitarian association for Afghanistan. Why did you choose Afghanistan to devote this time and energy to?
Well, Afghanistan In year 2000, when the Taliban was there, and he still is living one of his, let's say, the dark moment of the histories at that moment when the Taliban were there. But is also one of the poorest country in the world. It has been also under Russian invasion, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, Pakistani, Iranian. Everybody has put his fingers on this poor nation with the 5 million refugee out of 15 million. It's amazing to see how they're living in a bad condition, and still we think that, oh, it's Afghanistan. No, we should help them. And the best helps, after 25 years working there, I realize, is to help them, the children be educated, to give the women the tools of the media and communication and culture. This is the whole organization doing it, educating children, training journalists, but also giving the women the tools of being in charge of the media and communication.
Thank you very much, Reza. We wish you the best of luck in your career and with your association, which is called Aina. That's all the time we have for today's Dose of Culture. Thanks for watching, and see you again tomorrow.